Excite Truck is the spiritual successor to the Excite Bike series, debuting in late 2006 with the launch of the Nintendo Wii. The last Excite Bike released prior to Excite Truck was back in 2000 on the Nintendo 64. What's interesting is that a more proper follow-up was originally intended for Excite Bike 64. Excite Bike 64 was a modest hit developed by Left Field Productions, but due to a falling out with Nintendo, that sequel never saw release. Left Field Productions actually later did release a new biking game on the PS2 and Nintendo Wii called Nitro Bike, which is pretty decent and the exact same kind of game, while at the same time, Nintendo decided to go off in a slightly different direction. Now with Monster Games at the helm, we're now dealing with trucks. Excite Truck does not look bad, but it is far from cutting edge. The number of tracks are limited, the music is some of the worst plucky guitar crap I have ever heard, and the vehicles don't really look like anything. The game is still extremely refreshing though. In a sea of racing games that are all about realism and where arcade racing still means your wheels still remain on the ground 90% of the time, except now there's some generic rock music blaring in the background and you catch speed boosts by drifting, it's nice to finally play something that does not cater to all of that. Something that's just balls out fun. Excite Truck is flinging you into the air about every 5 seconds. You can influence your velocity mid-air by tilting the Wii remote to the side, making you do a curve like some kind of bowling ball. It's nice to finally be able to do that sort of thing again. It is nice to be able to do outrageous things within a racing game where you aren't too heavily punished for playing a little too extreme. Wii Remote tilting controls always puts the fear of God into me, but Excite Truck pulls it off extremely well. The maximum level of possible precision is lowered a bit, but the very well developed tracks are built for this. You have some wiggle room to go off course. It is pretty much expected. It all makes for a very fun way to play a very outrageous game. Excite Truck is very easy to pick up and play. You'll learn how to play it nearly instantly, and it's fun to fool around with the nitro and keeping your truck from overheating. It's fun to stick in every now and then and have a few races without ever feeling too pressured to actually master something. That's probably the game's biggest drawback though. The level of depth is limited and you probably won't ever care to set records or anything like that. There's no internet play to screw around with, and the challenges are okay, but mostly just distractions. Still though, it's a fun title to keep around. It's fun to just go a few laps when a friend is over or you want something to do for an hour or two. This is shallow gaming, but it is good gaming. Excite Truck for the Nintendo Wii receives a 7 out of 10.